What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Jeremiah Davis, the funding coach, and it's Monday Fun Day. I hope you guys had a wonderful Easter, happy resurrection weekend. I chilled. I was relaxed, did go to church, so that was good. But let's get into this, man. This PPP Loans and Forgiveness. I've been getting a lot of questions from a lot of people on the forgiveness of these PPP loans. And some of you may know, let me just clear up some things. Last time I talked about how there's a lot of fraud going on. And all these banks, the SBA, the IRS, they're implementing additional procedures to, catch this fraud. Okay. Unfortunately, for those who are legitimate business owners that are applying, you're caught up in it. So I know me and my staff are going back and contacting all of our clients that submitted an application. Well, first, the ones who already submitted, we had to go back, already submitted and not yet funded. We had to go back and get additional documentations for them to get funding. So we just got that cleared up. And now we're going back to all those who applied, but their application was not submitted to collect additional documentation to get approved. So if me or my staff contact you, you get an email from Business Funding Now because you applied with us. This is legitimate, but we're still working. Good news is things are more streamlined now. So as long as we have all the correct documentation, we can get you submitted. And then you have to do a couple extra steps like bank verification, not just submitting your banking information, but they want you to sync your bank account directly with the bank. And then they're going to review your bank statements remotely to make sure everything's legitimate before they fund you. If you're legitimate, you have nothing to worry about. This is a standard practices. Whoa, yeah, I'm sorry, froze up there for a minute, but this is all, to stop the fraud. Okay, so if everything's legitimate, provide us what you need that we asked you for, so we can still get you funded. Okay, so the monies are still there. They extended the program. We still have about 6 weeks or so to May 31st, I believe. 6-7 weeks to apply and get funding. So please, we're still taking applications. We've updated our applications to include all the documentation that the bank is requiring, the SBA is requiring. So if you don't submit it on your application, we're not going to submit it to the bank until we get all the documentation. We want to present them with complete packages to streamline the approval process and for you to get your funding. Okay, so if you have not applied and you are doing business, you have your Schedule C, you have your taxes 2019, you have your Schedule C or your P&Ls. We have to have the P&L or the Schedule C. All right. If you give us a P&L, we're going to make a Schedule C for 2019. But if you filed your 2019 taxes and you're an independent contractor or a small business owner, you should have a Schedule C attached with your 1040, and we can use that. And then we just need the P&Ls from 2020, and you're still looking for a 25% reduction in any one quarter comparing 2019 to 2020. So those are standards. Now, how do you get it 100% forgiven? Okay, I'm going to tell you how to do that, and I'm going to post a link in the comment section so you can look it up for yourself. But the only stipulation that they're asking is that within 8 to 24 weeks after you receive the funds, 60% of it must have been used for payroll. That includes yourself. All right. I got the money, and the way they have specific documentation, and I can go over that with you of what documents you need to provide to the bank that you got the loan from, the PPP loan from, are the ones who are going to file that paperwork and get 100% forgiveness. So 60% over the 8 to 24 week period after you got the money, you have that time period to submit your documentation for 100% forgiveness. So that's kind of huge, right? So if you're a sole proprietor or one person operation, that includes yourself. As long as that 6% of that money went to your payroll, and it should be, on your business bank statements, then you're good to go. That's it. Okay. There are specific forms that have to be filled out, and the bank that the lender that you got the money from can provide you those loans. So let me just go over a couple of these things right now, so you guys are aware of how to get your PPP loan forgiven. Okay. So regardless if you was a second round or a first round or second round, they said employee compensation levels are maintained. The loan proceeds are spent on payroll costs and other eligible expenses, and at least 60% of the proceeds are spent on payroll costs. Okay. The forms that they're looking for, the lender can provide you with either SBA Form 3508, SBA Form 3508EZ, or SBA Form 3508S, or the lender's equivalent to those forms. Okay. Now, how they're verifying this: bank account statements, a third-party payroll service provider reports documenting the amount of cash compensated paid to employees, including yourself. Tax forms, a period or the alternative payroll covering period, what I say, 8 to 24 weeks. Payroll tax filings, state quarterly business, individual, employee wages, etc. Payment receipts, canceled checks, or account statements documenting the amount of any employer contributions to employee health insurance, retirement plans that the borrower included in the forgiveness. Non-payroll, business mortgage interest payments, business rent or lease payments, business utility payments, copy of invoices, receipts, canceled checks, or account statements. You have to submit this paperwork within that 8 to 24 week period after funding to get 100% eligibility for forgiveness. So they're basically looking, as long as 6% with the payroll, it's 100% forgiven. Okay. And those are the forms. And let me go ahead and post a link in the comment section, and you can all look this up yourself right on the SBA website. Okay. And there it is. Now, let me just go over a couple little tidbits that we found. Let me go over all the documents that we need. Like I said, I've been updating my applications. So if you're going to businessfundingnow.com and applying, you have to submit everything. We will not submit it to the bank because that would just clog up the system. We will not submit it to the bank until we have all the documents that are required. What are required? Okay, we will need 2020, not 2021, right? 2020 bank statement, business bank statement. Okay, it has to be a PDF because people have been altering bank statements. All right, we will need 2019 tax returns, 1040 and the Schedule C, and 2020 P&Ls or Schedule C. Okay, for those who may not know, your Schedule C and P&Ls are the same. The P&Ls is what your company records. The Schedule C is that profit and loss statement that you or your county are keeping track of, and you put it on a Schedule C for your business to send to the IRS. Okay, we'll need front and back copies, color copies, clear copies of your state identification. Driver's license is the most common. We will need a voided check, or bank verification letter. We need to be able to verify the account Some people will be providing all types of things. I know most of you guys do not use checks. Most people these days do not use checks, but you have to get something, and can't be a starter check, can't be a counter check that's blank. It has to have your printed information on there. The name on the account and your business name, or if you're a sole proprietor, those things have to be lined up. We've had some people that put one name on the account or the check and a different name on the bank account. Those have to be the same, okay? So even if you're a sole proprietor doing with a DBA, the DBA should be listed on the check as well as the bank account, okay? Things got to be consistent and lined up. All right, we also need, what else? Let me take a quick look. And here we go. If this is your second round, this is huge. All right, we've had a lot of people check the wrong box. We need to know if it's your first time receiving or applying for the PPP. Not applying. If you got to apply before and they get approved, that's okay. But if you did get the first round, you need to check the box the first round. You need to provide the amount that you got the first time. You need to provide the E-Trans number that's associated with that PPP loan. They already have the systems in check. I've already had several clients that check no, and actually they have an E-Trans number, and they have to go back and find that number, and they have to find the original loan docs that they got for that first round of PPP loans. Okay, you have to be in business. I put January 31st, 2020, before the pandemic. The official doc says February. As long as you was in business by February of 2020, you qualify. Then everything else is your personal information: address, name, email, social security, date of birth, what type of business that you are, sole proprietor, LLC, S Corp, C Corp, what have you, independent contractor. They pretty much cover all business types. Okay, we have to know how much your income was in 2019 and your income was in 2020. Even if you made more money in 2020, like I did, than in 2019, you still qualify. Okay, if you do have employees, W-2 employees, you will need to provide your 940 is your yearly payroll. All right, and 941 is your quarterly payroll. One of the two, you'll need to provide, and the 940 has just got 4 quarters broken up. So we still need the whole year, but either one is for the whole year at a glance, or basically one form. The other form is broken up into quarters. Okay, so we'll need those things. And then, you're agreeing to the terms and condition. And then we need your banking information. So you'll type in your banking information as well as upload that voided check or that bank verification letter. And once we have a completed documents, then we submit them to the bank, and we're getting, you most likely get approved. Okay, so those are the things you need to apply. So get that stuff together and apply and upload your documents at the same time to streamline the process. You don't want to hinder the process, because once you're in the system and we don't have everything together, it's going to take longer for you to get approved and to get your funding. Okay, I'm sure you've heard of someone out there that is. I don't know why all of a sudden I'm freezing up more today than I have before, but I apologize for that. But these are the type of things we're dealing with. And trust me, when you have 100, 200, 400, 500 applications, it is a nightmare to go through each one of those. And, some of us are hiring extra staff just to do that. Okay, so there's a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of overhead, a lot of man hours to process these PPP loans. Okay, I've heard that if it's not already happened, I haven't heard yet, this week or any moment, any day now, the second round of EIDL, it will be opening up as well. We're not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure of all the requirements yet. But also, even if you applied just this year, the first time for the PPP, we're hearing that you'll be able to apply for a second round maybe later on this year, depending on how things go. So this is something that we're going to have to provide the service and update you on information as we get it, as it changes, as it gets updated. But most of all these changes are happening because of the fraud. If you are operating in that realm of trying to get this money and be fraudulent, go to the next person, go to the next bank. Okay. I mean, the word on the street was the main banks like, Bank of America, Chase, Regions, some of the standard banks that were processing up 50% of the applications they received were fraudulent. All right. The Schedule C's were fraudulent. This stuff is being double checked by the IRS and the SBA. You're not going to get away with it. All right. You're not smarter than the banking system and the government. They're going to catch it. They might, some people might have got away with it, but it's going to catch up with them. And it's not worth it. I'm not going to jail for nobody. Don't bring that stuff to me. Don't threaten my livelihood and my family's livelihood because you want to be a crook. Okay. We don't do that over here. We're not doing that. So we're doing everything by the book. All right. I'm just trying to help people get access to this money. They open it up. They targeted small businesses that were overlooked the first time around. All the major corporations got it. All the little guys didn't get nothing. So this is our opportunity to stay in business if we had, to cut back because of the pandemic. So don't ruin it for everybody because you want to be a crook. Okay, I'm just keeping it real. It's a shame that we have so much fraud. And it's messing all the legitimate people up because you have people that want to be crooks out there. Okay, they have no morals or ethics, and they're gonna. You can reap what you sow. So if you're sowing bad stuff, you're gonna get bad stuff back. It's coming back on you. Believe that. Okay. So if you have questions, go to my website, schedule an appointment, and I will answer your questions and help you get. You have time, even if you hadn't filed your 2019 taxes yet with your Schedule C, you can get those the documents together and still apply and get approved. Okay. If you want to know how to get the loan forgiven, just check it out. Check out the link I posted. It's the SBA. Just type in SBA PPP Loan Forgiveness, and it pop right up, and you can go read it for yourself and start preparing. Because if you don't submit it within that time frame, there is no deferment. You will have to start making payments on that loan immediately after that 8-week period is done. There's no exceptions for that. So that's why I'm trying to get this information out to you guys so you can go ahead and apply and again submit your documentation so you can have it 100% forgiven and keep it moving. Okay. And if you used all the money up for the necessary things, which 60% for personal payroll is not hard to do, and the rest of it is accounted for regular business expenses, then you don't have. You should be able to get another round of this funding. How much? I don't know, but you'll have to submit your documentation to verify and prove all that. But it's free money. That's the blessing for those of us that are doing legitimate business. For those who are not, I'll pray for you. That's all I got to say about that. But we're still open. We're still taking applications. We're still processing them. But we will not submit any applications unless they are 100% ready to go with all supporting documents to submit to our banking relationship. Okay. The bank is not going to process them unless they have all the documents. All right. They're not holding up, waiting for you to submit your documents while other people are submitting their applications and getting, and getting them processed through. All right. So it's you're going to get put on another pile that's incomplete while they keep it moving. So it's best that you submit everything that's required the first time you apply. And if you don't know, give me a call, schedule an appointment. I'll tell you, go to the website, pull up the app. Everything's right there. Okay, it's pretty plain what documents are needed. If the only field you should skip if the ones that don't apply to you. All right, so if it's your first time, then the first 3 or 4 boxes you can skip. You just put NA. But if you are not putting your tax returns or your bank statements or your ID, all that stuff, you're just creating more work for my team to contact you and email you to get the docs. And when they're sitting around waiting for you to get the docs, we can't keep doing that. We're going to just keep it moving. Okay, you'll get an email if you haven't submitted your documents, all that were required by a certain time. We will, cancel your application and you can reapply when you get it together. All right, because no other bank is going to admit these requirements because it's governed by the SBA. That's the United States government, Small Business Administration, and it is governed by and IRS is monitoring these things. So if you permit whatever tax documents you do submit, when you do file taxes, it's got to jail. Everything's got to be consistent. So you can't make up some numbers and put on a Schedule C now and then go back and try to change it later so you can get the most amount. Let me say this also. Those companies that are getting, more than $20,000 is because they have legitimate employees on payroll. Okay, for all of us that are just, have like myself, I have a number of employees, but they're not in the U.S., so I can't count those on my payroll. Okay, those are business operating expenses, but they're not U.S. employees that are taxable, so they don't count. Okay, I'm the only U.S. employee that the payroll applies to. Okay, so whatever I file on my Schedule C for 2020 has got to be accurate with my taxes filing for 2020. Okay, if I have to change that up, then they're going to come looking at me crazy, and that's probably going to give you a lot of attention that I don't want. Audits, IRS in my face, yada yada yada. I'm telling you that because that's what's happening. People are submitting things and thinking they can lie and they can get us, fall through the cracks. Put it like this: those who already fell through the cracks, they're already done, and they're already being, probably in hiding from the IRS and the United States government. Okay, everybody going forward, they're not even going to get to that far. Okay, they are verifying bank accounts because they got fraudulent accounts. They're verifying Schedule C's with the IRS because people making up numbers and put them on Schedule C's, thinking they're going to get $100,000 and all this stuff. Just it's crazy. It's really crazy. The level of fraud that we're encountering, and it's causing a big headache and a problem for all of us who are trying to do it the legitimate way. So I hope you guys find this information relevant and helpful. If not, just first of all, if it is, share the video, like, follow Instagram, Facebook, all the social media outlets, LinkedIn, what have you. And if you have other questions, please go to my website, book an appointment, and I will be happy to answer your questions. Okay? All right. My name is Jeremiah Davis. This is Business Funding Now, Monday Fun Day. You guys, thanks for watching. Peace.